Today we're in the Peak District testing out the Antigravity A1. It's the world's first 8K and 360-degree drone to exist. So this is like taking one of those 360-degree cameras and just flying it through the sky. Obviously you can do that with like home builds, for instance, if you're making like an FPV drone, but this is all built in and you don't have to worry about a lot. However, it does have some funky accessories to it in order to fly the drone. It's not got a controller. You're set up with a little hand stick that's like a pistol grip, and then on top of that you've also got this really funky headset, as though being in VR, where you can see the world around you in your 360-degree space. So I'll hopefully be able to throw different things up of me using and testing these things out as we go. This is one of those things where, in essence, you are able to fly first and then reframe later. The fact that it shoots a 360-degree video means that you can capture anything from any point of view, no matter, so long as you click record, you can get pretty much anything that you've covered within your flight path. Now, in terms of weight, obviously there is a weight limit depending on where you are and where you're based of around 249 grams before you have to go to like a new not license level or seek permissions and all that sort of thing. The weight of the drone without the larger battery, so the larger battery does increase it to 290 grams roughly, but with the normal and regular battery, you're at 249 grams. So you do stick under that flight restriction, and it just means that it's lightweight and easy to travel around with. However, with the extra accessories, you do need quite a large bag to bring it all with you, but that's obviously just something to think about when purchasing. Now, I mentioned the larger battery. The drone does have a flight time of 24 minutes on the regular one and up to 39 minutes on the larger one. So just having that extra 10 minutes gives you that extra boost. And obviously if it's windy or you're flying in the sport mode, then your battery percentage might drain quicker simply because you're using more power for the drone. So that's something to keep in mind depending on what use you're having out of the drone itself. Now, in terms of video settings, it shoots 8K up to 30 frames a second, it shoots 5.2K up to 60 frames a second, and then 4K up to 100 frames a second. So pretty much if you're after anything from action sports to just really scenic stuff and you're capturing maybe a holiday that you've gone on, then it's perfect for that sort of thing. However, it is limited in terms of codecs, so it only shoots in H.264 and H.265, so you won't have 10-bit like you would on other drones, which is a bit of a shame, but from what you're getting, and the codecs still stand up nowadays, and the footage does look good, so you're not getting that kind of like full filmic look, but you are getting good enough for most uses, and definitely great for social content too, which is kind of what this is geared for, really. Now, in terms of stills, you can take 55 megapixel stills with this. I have found when I take a photo, it does take a moment to load it. I think it's kind of like trying to work out where you're looking, and it also does take a photo in that kind of like view. So you kind of have to hold still, click the photo button, then it'll take it and it'll kind of like load and then come back up. Might be the fact of the micro SD card I'm using, but that's what I found so far taking photos with the drone. Now, in terms of storage, obviously you've got a micro SD card slot on the drone itself. You've also got one in the headset, which is quite cool. It might mean that you can then record POV content from what you're seeing on the headset as well. But with that too, the drone also has 20 gigs of internal storage. So if you did catch yourself short and you've forgotten your SD card or something like that, the drone does have storage, and it's all out via USB-C. I'm definitely being a lot less purposeful because I know that I'm going to have to reframe it anyway. I can go and like look at a car driving past and like watch it in the VR headset and point the remote, but realistically I can then go and reframe the shot later on in post with the inbuilt software that Antigravity has via the app as well. So that's really cool, but we'll carry on playing around with it. You'll see some test footage as we go, and I will see you shortly. So we have gone all around the Peak District, we've filmed a bunch of things, filmed many a cliff edge, we're on one right now, and what do we think of the drone? Well, first off, I've got to say it's a really cool piece of kit. You like capturing the 360-degree image, the fact it's 8K, it's great for your quality and stuff. So if you're downsampling to say a 4K timeline, it means you've got really great quality there. You'll have the sharpness and all those sorts of things, and also the ability to reframe your shot whilst filming is amazing. It's also quite cool wearing the headset and being able to look all around. Maybe the drone's 1,000 meters away or something like that, and you can see this new place that you've never gone to before. My few notes on it is the only way to fly this drone is using the headset, which means for safety and all those sorts of things, you can't actually physically see the drone. So there's a little bit of a snag there in terms of flying when there's loads of people around and all those sorts of things, because landing can be quite tricky and slightly dangerous. I've definitely struggled here because I can't see the drone when it comes in. I also can't control it when I'm trying to make it land, because I've got to take the headset off in order to be able to see it, so I can work out, okay, it's landing somewhere flat and all those sorts of things. So negotiating that's quite hard, and it would be nice to have a normal handheld unit, though the eyepiece is cool, but it would be good to have a second option in order to cover that. Along with that, there are a lot of accessories just to be able to fly. So you've got the hand grip, you've got the goggles, you've got the battery for the goggles, and then you've got the drone itself, plus all the batteries to charge them. So you just need to be ready to charge a lot. And my final note is just, before you fly, make sure to download all the updates, download the app, register the drone, just because that does take a while. Mainly because testing it out and trying to use it, you can't use the drone until you've updated the firmware. So that basically means if you go somewhere else overnight, you've not updated the drone, you get there, you get it out, it's not going to let you fly until you've updated it. So just make sure to keep it updated and all working. Other than that, it's been a really great piece of kit to test out, a lot of fun to try as well. I've definitely got some quirky looks flying it around today. It's been really fun. So that's me. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.